Hello, and welcome to another installment on my series of book reviews. In this one, we're going to talk about Foundation, written by one of my most favorite science fiction authors of all time, Isaac Asimov. So, I read Foundation way back in 2012, I think. I read the whole series and I kind of messed it up, the reading order. So, I think I read the prelude after the second book, or the third book before the second book, or something like that. Uh, and I wanted to reread the whole series again. So, I started last month and I just finished Foundation, the first book. Um and it's still the masterpiece that I remembered it was. And it's not just me saying that. Foundation has won the Hugo Award prize for best science fiction series of all time. So it is really the quintessential science fiction book. Isaac Asimov is just such a great writer. He wrote Foundation in 1942 when he was 21, I believe, uh, and it's one of his essential reads along with the robot series. Fun fact about Asimov, if you didn't know, he famously coined the term robotics for his robot series, which later became a field of science. But we are here to talk about Foundation in this video. So the premise for Foundation is we are briefly introduced to the Galactic Empire, which is coalition of all the inhabited planets in the galaxy. Interplanetary travel has become commonplace, and mankind is far more technologically advanced than what it is today. And in this setting, we meet a person called Harry Seldon, who is a scientist and inventor of a field of science called psychohistory. Psychohistory is the combination of social studies, psychology, and mathematics. And psychohistorians do mathematical analysis on social psychology and predict future based on society's current trends. But they predict future on a macro level. They can't predict the future of an individual person, but based on social behavior, they can predict the eventual future of mankind. And Harry Seldon has now predicted that based on what has happened in the past with the society, the doom of the Galactic Empire is inevitable. Basically, all there's going to be a technological apocalypse, and the world is going to succumb to anarchy and barbarism. But he also predicts that this barbarism, which is supposed to last for 30,000 years until a second empire uh, will rise up through psychohistory and through influencing large masses of people, he can reduce this 30,000 years to 1,000 years. And that's the premise of Foundation. So Harry Seldon sets up a foundation on a distant planet in the galaxy called Terminus, whose ulterior task is to write this Encyclopedia Galactica, which will contain all the scientific advancements that mankind has made till date, and which will guide them through the Dark Ages. But it also does so much more. It basically shapes the future of mankind. From there, we see 200 years in the life of the Foundation and the different roadblocks that they hit along the way, called Selden crises, and the unique ways that they deal with these Selden crises is very fun to read. So, as you can guess, the scope of this book is immense. It spans over several centuries. It contains several planets, a galactic empire, which was, I believe, the first of its kind to introduce a multi-planetary empire of sorts. Later adapted by Star Wars and Star Trek and what have you. You see this whole journey through different story arcs. So you basically make time jumps. So you see a Selden crisis, see how the Foundation resolves that crisis. Then you make a time jump of 50 years, and then you see another Selden crisis with a few different characters. And I think because it was published as a series of short stories, uh, this unique format of time jumps exist. But each individual story also references the past, so it's all super connected. The one downside of having such a big scope is the lack of character work, which is also typical to some of the earlier science fiction. And I believe this happened because characters in early science fiction were treated as vessels that could deliver the science fiction concepts that the author wanted to put. rather than individual personas around whom the plot is happening, which is more modern approach. But this should not deter you from picking up Foundation and losing yourself in the beautiful world that Isaac Asimov has created. So make sure you check out this book and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.